Thursdays with Penny, and I do this most Thursdays with masterminds. And when I say a mastermind, there's two parts to that. One is that they've joined us on our mastermind program, which is fantastic because the 12 masterminds we have support one another so incredibly with the skills they have. And as you'll hear from talking to Sharon, some of our masterminds on the group with Sharon have joined her incredible community, and that's helping their training businesses fantastically. So I started this because Thomas and I, over the last 22 years of working and networking in the small business world, often get asked, who do you know who? And for me, recommending someone is really about either really deeply using them as a supplier myself or getting to know them so well that not only do I know they have the skills, but I know they've got the values and ethics that sits behind that makes them a good person for me to recommend. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Sharon Gaskin. Sharon's the founder of the Trainers Training Company. And after a 12-year corporate training career, she set up her own consultancy at the start of 2002. So what's that, 18 years ago?
I know, a long time ago now.
A long time, and has worked with corporate clients both in the public and private sector. So the Trainers Training Company was established in 2009 as a direct response to the needs and requests that were coming in from freelance trainers who, and you might resonate with this, were struggling to get their businesses off the ground or wanted to make their existing businesses much more profitable. There's a real skill to know how to promote and market yourself and run your business. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So Sharon's really passionate about helping freelance trainers to succeed and enjoy the adventure of being a business owner, which anybody listening to this, I think, will know that is certainly an adventure. So Sharon, it's absolutely fantastic to see you today. Thank you very much for joining me.
You are welcome, and thank you for having me.
Oh, no, it's lovely. I've been really excited about this interview because there are definitely changing times. This bubble that we've all gone into, I think a lot of people are innovating and changing. And I think training, gosh, and I look in our mastermind group alone, the skills that people are wanting to get at this time while they're locked down are phenomenal. So I thought it'd be great to kick off the question. Really, why did you start this company, and particularly the Trainer Talk business that you've got?
Okay, so why did I start? It was very, very simple. Pesky children. They get in the way, don't they, of the things that you want to do. So I had started my training business in 2002. I had a really rocky first year in which I made every mistake in the book, which has been, in hindsight, has been quite nice because those are the things that I'm able to share in my programs and say, don't do this, because it doesn't work. And I've been there and got the T-shirt to prove that. So after I'd sort of had this difficult first year, I then sort of figured out how to get corporate clients. And I had many large corporate clients who were giving me, large pieces of work, which was fantastic. And that was all going along really well for about 7 years. And then my children, who were at the time were kind of 4 and 2. In 2000, when I started the Trainers Training Company, Ryan, my son, was about 9.
Right.
He was playing a lot of tennis, and he was really, really good. And he got an opportunity to go to a high performance centre with the LTA, which was great. They take all the best kids in the region and put them on this programme, and it's a lot of commitment, basically. So that was great for him, and we wanted to support him, as a family. But it meant that I suddenly could not run my business in the same way that I did before, because I was traveling all over the place, running training workshops, etc. Couldn't do that because I had to suddenly pick him up from school at 12:30 every day and drive him to Birmingham and stay with him, and it was a big commitment. So I realised, and there's real parallels actually. Something I was talking about with Sammy yesterday, who's also on our mastermind, and she interviewed me for her Brand Builders Club, and we were talking about the fact that what I did then, there are parallels with what's going on right now, because I had to reinvent myself completely, because, I couldn't be a lady that lunches, had to earn money. but I couldn't operate in the same way that I did before. And two things happened actually round about, you don't remember the days of round about 2009, 2010, was really when the online world was just getting started. You know, we were all of a sudden, we had email marketing, we had webinars, we had instant teleseminars. I don't know whether you remember those things, you know, when you were on your phone talking to a group, but, you know, you couldn't see them, but you could talk to each other. So it was all quite exciting. So I quickly realised that that was something that I could do, and I could earn money through being at home. But what to do? And funnily enough, 6 months previous to that, I'd been having some ideas, as you do, on my dog walk and etc. And I noticed that quite a lot of trainers who were thinking of starting their own businesses were coming to me and saying, oh, you know, can I grab a coffee with you? Because I know you do this and I'd like to learn how to do it. And so I just thought, you know, wouldn't it be nice if there was a resource that you could go to, like a website or something, or a course you could go on that would be just for trainers? Because there were very many places where you could go to get generic business advice, but there wasn't anything that was really applicable to trainers. So I went away and I wrote this book, this ebook, and it's still on my website to this day, How to Launch a Training Business in 30 Days. And in that, I kind of poured everything that I knew about creating and growing a training business. I'm quite surprised myself, because I was like, oh, because it's all second nature, isn't it? And I was like, oh, okay, get this out of my head. And I actually do know quite a bit about this topic. And I stuck it on this one-page website, called it the Trainers Training Company, but didn't do anything with it because I really didn't know whether it would actually make any money, or I didn't really have a huge amount of belief in it. And then obviously when all this happened with Ryan, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, I need to reinvent myself. What do I do? And I thought, okay, well, why not do something with this thing, this website, and make that work and make it work from home. So I took the momentous decision to close my training business down and concentrate full time on the Trainers Training Company. And that's how it all started, 10 years ago.
Incredible, isn't it? So when I imagine people listening back to this, some people will be sitting back at the moment looking at their business and wondering whether they need to completely pivot it. And you being brave enough to do that, it's a brave person that does that. But what an amazing decision you made, and it's been phenomenal, hasn't it? Tell us now, I'm just going to introduce you again, just to anybody that's just joined or watching maybe this video as a separate video, because we will divide this video up into chunks. I'm talking to Sharon Gaskin, who's the founder of the Trainers Training Company. And if you're a trainer or you're a company who hires trainers, I think this is really relevant to you. And we're just talking about Sharon's journey of creating this and being the founder of this new concept, going from being a trainer herself to being a lovely person who was helping a few people along the way who wanted to learn how to be trainers, to then actually pivoting in 2009 her whole business into this Trainers Training Company, helping other trainers to be successful. So what are the ways that you help people? I know you've got a membership and I know people join and you have events. I mean, it's phenomenal watching what you do. What are the ways that you are helping trainers to grow their businesses? What do you do for them?
Well, there are a number of different products and programs and services, and they all address, it doesn't matter what I do, they all address the two main challenges that freelance trainers face. And they are, number one, getting clients, because most trainers that I've come across, and I was one of them to begin with, do love the bit when they are in the training room doing the delivery. They love that. They love the buzz of that, thrill of it. You know, you do training yourself, you know that. You know that feeling that you get, you're making a difference, you're having an impact on people and their performance and on their businesses, on their lives, etc. So we all love that. But most of them do not like doing the marketing, either because they don't know how to do it, or they don't have the skills, or whatever. So that's the number one challenge that all my programs and services address. And number two is isolation, because, and this applies, I guess, not just to freelance trainers, but all business owners. And this is, I guess, why you set your group up and your masterminds up, etc. It's really, trainers generally are people. We like being around people, and it's quite hard when you come out the corporate world and you're suddenly on your own, in your house or in your office with a laptop and your phone, and that's it. And it can be quite hard to, to recreate that feeling that you have at work, around the water cooler and, bouncing ideas off and all that kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything that I do, I have the Trainers Talk is my membership community, so people can come into that to get training and support on how to market their businesses and also get that amazing sense of community, which is what we all want, especially right now. The Associate Alert Service is really for trainers who kind of are not don't really want to market their business as such. They're more interested in just getting leads and getting opportunities for associate work, so they can come onto the list and I send them opportunities for associate work. I also work with clients one-to-one, so as a mentor. Those are and then I run my online program, which I do twice a year. Used to be, and again, this is how I've developed, it used to be a one-day live face-to-face workshop, how to create a successful and profitable training business. And about 4 years ago, I realized that there's so much I wanted to get into this program, and I wasn't really getting everything in one day. There was too much. So I realized also I could run that as an online program, which I've been doing ever since. And that's something, again, that's been really, I've helped hundreds of trainers through that program in the last few years, all from the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Your reach is amazing, and I know you also do these lovely offline community events when people join Trainer Talk, which is lovely as well. I mean, I know you're missing that while we're in isolation, but I love the fact that you've got this blend of the online and the offline and the community and the skills and the incredible bank of resources that you supply. I know that the people that I've recommended who come back to me and say, this is quite phenomenal, the advice you give and the way that you've structured all the resources are amazing. So, I'm going to ask another question, but for anybody that's just joining now or maybe watching this video in isolation from when I first introduced Sharon, I'm going to ask the next question, which is very, very relevant to us all, which is about pivoting your businesses and looking at the online opportunities that exist. So I'm talking to Sharon Gaskin at the moment, who is the founder of the Trainers Training Company. And she founded that in 2009 and has been supporting hundreds and hundreds of trainers to learn how to market and sell themselves and also reduce their sense of isolation. So Sharon, it's great to be talking to you now. And I'm so excited about this program that you've got, how to create a future fit training business. Tell me all about that, because I know that people have been flocking quite a lot to you, because in this time when everybody's knowing they need to adapt their offline training into an online business. Tell me all about that.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because, as I've just mentioned, I run my online program twice a year. And this is round about the time that I run it. So I do one in the spring and one in the autumn. And a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, I don't know whether I can run this program, because how can I talk about how to create a successful and profitable training business when there is no face-to-face training out there? Yeah, it didn't feel very congruent. So I just thought I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to shelve it. And then I noticed what was happening in my community as everybody was kind of coming to terms with what's happening. A lot of people were saying to me, do you know what? This is a really good time. This is a really good time to look at my business and to kind of spring clean it, and to kind of, like, for example, so many trainers have said to me, oh, this is amazing. I'm loving this because I've really realized that I'm fed up with a daily commute. I'm fed up with traveling, because training is tiring. It's really tiring. It's a really tiring occupation, being on your feet all day. you know, physically and emotionally when you're in the training room. It's hard, you know, it's tiring. And you add on to that as well, the traveling as well, it's even harder. And a lot of trainers have been saying to me, oh, look, is this great? And you know what, when I go back, I need to find some way of maybe changing my business so I'm not kind of doing quite so much of that. So you know, I was thinking about this and I just thought, you know what, actually, maybe I do run this program, but maybe I run it in a slightly different way. So what I decided to do was to team up with one of my trainers for ambassadors, a lady called Jeanette Tessier, who her website or her organisation is Get That Course Online. And that's her specialist area, you know, getting courses online and the whole online training world. So together we have combined forces to bring, you know, this new program. So my bit will be still the bit about marketing and selling and business development principles and confidence and mindsets, and all those things that you need to have a successful training business. But I'm going to be, you know, talking about it in the context of what's happening right now, because I do believe that more than ever, it's so important to be in touch with our potential clients, you know, not to just, not to just sit here and go, oh, there's nothing I can do now for 3 months. You know, we've got to stay in touch with people. So I'll be, you know, doing loads of stuff around that. And then Jeanette will be bringing in the online training side. So how to create online courses, how to deliver virtual training, how to sell online courses, all those sorts of things, for which I know in the training world right now, there is a massive demand for, because what's been really interesting, Penny, when I look across the industry and what's been happening over the last few weeks, is that I would say there are 3 categories of organisation in terms of their response to the whole coronavirus thing. Because let's face it, has hit the training industry incredibly hard, because face-to-face training, we can't do it anymore. So organisation number 1 is a kind of the large organisation. They're really switched on. They have been able to just basically move to virtual training overnight because they've got the resources to do that, and that's fine. So those trainers who were working with those types of organisation, they've been able to continue working with them as long as they have the virtual skills. The second type of organisation are those smaller types of organisation who are kind of, well, certainly up until now, have still been in as much shock as we have been, you know, kind of going, what the hell do I do? This is maybe somebody, an HR manager or an L&D manager who's on their own in an organisation, and they had all their training plans, and now all of a sudden they can't do them. And they are kind of, you know, reaching out for help as well. And the trainers in my community have been able to have conversations with those organisations and say, hey, you know, how are you feeling? How has this affected your plans? Did you know that I could do virtual training? Did you know that I'm here to support you? And that's been amazing and incredible. And then, you know, the reality is there is also a third type of organisation who have either not got the capacity to switch to virtual training, or they're not ready yet to do it. And they're going, do you know what? We're just going to put things on hold for 3 months until we can do face-to-face training again. So that's really been quite interesting. But I suppose what I'm saying is that this is an exciting time, you know, for trainers, because we can fit into, you know, into one of those 3 categories, you know, if you like. We can carry on working with our clients as long as we upskill ourselves virtually. We can have conversations with our clients and offer support to them, or we can just accept that, okay, not going to be a lot happening for 3 months, but this is a great time to look at my business and look at how I can get ready for when the tap turns back on. And all things my program is going to address.
It's phenomenal. I mean, it really is. It's like, this is almost the time that your business was born for. I get that sense, you know, something's come of age, hasn't it, into this?
Yeah, it's really funny because I was laughing about that. I mean, in my Trainer Talk community, I've created this hashtag made for this moment, because although it sounds really cheesy, it actually is, because Trainer Talk has, you know, it's amazing how the community has come together, particularly in the first few weeks. It was all around panic and fear and worry and anxiety, and we were able to scoop all that up and work through it together. And now we're all working together on the next stage, which is how do we adapt? How do we not only survive but thrive in the environment that we're in right now? Which is
lovely. And I've loved the way that you're encouraging that positivity with people. But it is very interesting, because I love your 3 categories of organisation. There's also about those people that are taking personal responsibility for their own self-development at the moment. Because I think this is a time where you can go manically into all the skills that you wish you had. I'm going to be using your alert service for our masterminds, because that we've got a list, this checklist of all the things we want to learn, and I'm sure you'll have trainers in there that could, you know, we could do a webinar on particular subjects to help them, because the raft of trainers you've got in your alert service is phenomenal. So I think what I'd like to finish with, because this is really interesting, it's so prevalent to now, is how do people get in touch with you, Sharon, in general? So your URL is thetrainerstrainingcompany.co.uk. That's right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then to learn how to pivot your business into an online training company, which that program sounds fantastic. How much does that cost?
It's £497, and it is a 6-week program. So and for that you do get a 12 webinars in total, plus a weekly catch-up that we're going to be doing, a Facebook group, loads of support, etc. But there's also a 6-month payment plan.
Right. Gosh, that's brilliant.
Basically, just under £100 a month for 6 months.
Right.
So
it's a fantastic one. So for people to access that, it's the trainerstrainingcompany.co.uk /how to create a future fit training business. And we'll be putting that in this post, but also we'll make sure that when this is recorded and edited, you'll be seeing that across the bottom anyway. Sharon, it's amazing to talk to you. I've been so excited. I was so pleased that we could get this talk in now, because it's so timely. And I hope that anybody who runs a training business themselves will join. People who need trainers, I hope you join the Trainer Alert Service, because this is the time for you as an organisation to really ramp up the development of your staff, and you will find the most incredible trainers inside the Training Alert Service that Sharon has. And of course, I'm sharing this out onto lots of social media, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. So if you just want to get in touch with Sharon, she'll be linked into that, but also you can contact me and I can introduce Sharon to you. So thank you so much, Sharon. That was a fantastic conversation. Thanks then. Bye.
Bye now.